Vanessa here. So let's talk about blessings and curses. So as Christians, most of us talk about our blessings very openly and very readily, myself included. We like to talk about how God has blessed us and all the good things in our life, and that's all well and good. But there's also another side to that, and that is curses. I don't know. I would venture to say that most Christians really don't even understand that part of it, the opposite. They don't understand how curses work and how easily they can be put on you, either by yourself or someone else. Most of us think of a curse being like a witch or a warlock casting a spell on you or something like that, and that's real and that's scary. But there's also the curses can come right out of our mouth. Well, that's where they come from your mouth. When you are speaking to yourself or you're speaking to someone or about someone, you're either blessing them or you're cursing them, depending on your words. Positive words are blessings, negative words are curses. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Our tongue is a two-edged sword. I mean, that is scripture. So I wanted to share with you some enlightening things that I got from this book called 10 Curses That Block the Blessing by Larry Huch. I first read this book about, 20 years ago, 15 to 20 years ago. And I will say this, for a book to reach out and grab me and grab my attention, and for me to read it more than once is saying something, because I have dozens of books that I'll read the first few pages or the first chapter, and if it's not holding my attention or grabbing me, I'll put a bookmarker in it, set it down, and most likely never touch it again. This book I have read cover to cover at least 3 times, and I'm reading it again right now, as you can see my bookmark here. I actually went and had this copy spiral bound because I wanted to do some videos and Bible study maybe about this subject, because I think it is so important and that people need to be enlightened. This book enlightened me, taught me things that I had never even thought about or that I ever really grasped when I was reading the Word. So the first, I'll give you a testimony of what it did for me when I first started reading it all those years ago. So don't even know how I came across this book. Somebody probably recommended it to me. So I was in the process of reading this book, but during that time, I was having a pain in my hip, in my left hip. Don't know why, never went to the doctor. It had been going on for months. If I sat cross-legged on the floor, which I like to do a lot to play with my grandkids and things, and I couldn't sit like that for very long because it would really start hurting. I'd have to stretch it out and get up and kind of move slow. And also the house that we lived in at that time, we had a step down from our kitchen and dining room into the living room. So I even learned how to step down to where it wouldn't jar my hip and hurt even more. So I was like starting to adjust my body to the pain. But I had been praying, for a healing. So in reading this book, one night I was in bed before I went to bed and was reading. And one of the things that I came on was, this man is also a pastor. He's been a pastor 30 plus years now. So he had a lady that had been coming up several times for a healing and wasn't receiving her healing. And so at this particular point, she came up and he asked her a question. He said, do you have somebody maybe in your past, maybe from a long time ago, that you have never forgiven? And somebody that you need to forgive of something. Could be something that you've even forgot about or let go, don't think about it anymore. Just, is there anybody in your past that you need to forgive? And just for a few seconds, she said, well, yes, actually there is somebody from a long time ago. So I don't remember I haven't come to that yet, that I'm reading it now. I don't remember the exact details of what she said. was going on with that. But he said, okay, if you're holding unforgiveness against someone, that's going to block your blessing. And being healed is a blessing. He said, so you pray and you go to God and you make it right. You forgive this person. Tell God that you forgive this person, because forgiveness is a choice. It's not an emotion. It's not a feeling. It's a choice. I've known that for many, many years. And so anyway, she prayed, forgave that person, and he prayed for her healing, and she was healed. And so when I was reading that particular night, I was like, wow, okay, Lord, is there something going on with me? Is that the reason I'm not receiving my healing in my hip? I said, please bring to my mind anyone that I need to forgive. Immediately, 3 people came to my mind, and they were family members from way back. We weren't having relationships right then, and it was, hurt feelings and things like that. And I had never gone through the process of praying and telling God that I forgive them. I certainly had never told them that. So I was just like, oh, okay. So I went through my prayers and I told God that I am choosing to forgive this, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so. I want to let go of that. I don't want to carry that anymore. I forgive them, and I pray that somewhere along the way they'll forgive me. And so I finished my prayers for that night, read my Bible a little bit, and went to sleep. So the next morning, got up, went about my usual routine, in and out of the kitchen to the living room, down that step down. And after going back and forth a couple of times, it just like hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, wait a minute, my hip's not hurting. And I thought, I've even stepped up and down and didn't even think about turning that certain way. And I started walking around and moving. I sat and I was like, I was healed. And I just started jumping up and down for joy and praising God. I was healed. The pain was gone. And it has never come back. I have no idea what it was. At this point, I don't care. But I was healed. So holding that unforgiveness in my heart against those 3 family members was holding me back from some blessings. So that's one thing that I really learned in this book about forgiveness. Now there's lots of other information in here about blessings and curses and how they work. I would highly, highly recommend you to get this book. And you can also, when I go to look for books that I'm interested in, I always go to abebooks.com, A-B-E books.com. Those are thousands and thousands of people on there that are selling good used books really cheap. And I have gotten a couple of these on that site for $4, and it's free shipping. So if you're interested in this book, I do have 1 extra copy. If you're local to me, I'll be glad to loan it out to someone that would like to read it. Curses are real. They really are. And when generational curses, this book really talks about generational curses. People will say things like, well, my mom had breast cancer and her mom had breast cancer. So I know it's hereditary and I'm worried about that. No, it's not hereditary. It's a curse, okay? Cancer is not hereditary. There's lots and lots of diseases and health issues out there that people claim that's hereditary. There's a few things through DNA, that I'm sure can be, but diseases like that, cancer, diabetes, and all those, no, they're not hereditary. It's a curse. And when they say it's passed down, it's definitely passed down. That's what generational curses mean. They come from generation to generation to generation, and they're passed down. And it doesn't even have to be a health issue. It can be emotional. It can be, he talks about in the book, divorce. Is your family known for divorces? Suicide, could be suicide. Those are curses that are passed down from each generation, and they get on you or the next family member in the next generation, and then it just continues on. generational curses can be broken, okay? Alcoholism is another one that is, it's not hereditary, because alcoholism is not a disease. It's a choice, for one thing, and it's a habit, it's an addiction. And I've had people very close to me that have dealt with alcoholism, and including my youngest son, okay? His dad was an alcoholic and died from cirrhosis of the liver. And my son passed away. He died in a car wreck, but he had come from the bar, and he was way over the drinking level. And we had known for a while that he had an issue with drinking. So I know that more than likely caused the wreck that he had. It was a one-car wreck, just him, no other vehicles involved, thank God, that nobody else was involved in that wreck and was hurt or killed. So the curses you can break those generational curses, and I urge you to think about and pray about the different things that you see going on in your family that more than likely is a curse. So I urge you to get this book. I promise you won't regret it. I do have an extra copy, like I said, be glad to loan it to you. Just reach out to me and let me know. And I want to do some other videos and actually go into some details from this book. I am highlighting and marking and as I'm reading it this time for that purpose. So I'm excited to do that in the near future, and I hope you will join me then. So that's going to be it for now. May God bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and give you peace.